Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. And today you all, I am outside. Bud and I are out here and just finished harvesting plenty of onions and even a bit of carrots. You all, as you can see, I have a cart full of onions here and then a bit of carrots on this side, and then I even have a few more onions right here in my bucket. Now the majority of my onions turned out about maybe baseball size. Remember I told you all when I get onions, I'm okay with them being like baseball size. I don't really care if I get like these really massive onions, because once I put these onions in the bed, initially I was going to fertilize more, but that didn't happen. I fertilized this bed initially with lots of chicken manure and feather meal and bone meal, and that literally was it. And I just kind of fluffed it into our raised beds, right? And after I did that, I just popped in my onions. Now, if you've never seen me plant onions before, I will post a link to that video at the end of this one. But I did just pop them in and watered them, and I probably watered them just a couple of times since I planted them, and primarily the rain has been watering them. So I can imagine that if I was to really like go all in with the fertilizer, and maybe even if I watered them a bit more, maybe they would turn out a lot larger. But again, I'm okay with just plugging them in and going, right? I love the idea of not really having to spend too much time with babysitting crops, right? So onions and carrots is just one of those things that I do not want to babysit. Y'all can't eat my stuff. Going on somewhere. Now I was a little late, actually I was very late harvesting these. The white onions, which are the Texas early, the tops just kind of died off on these, and I left them in the ground. You know, I just left them in there, and I just said I'll get them when I'm ready to deal with them. And they turn out just fine. They're not soft, they're not rotting, none of that. They turn out just fine. Now, my other onions, my yellow onions, I tried the candy, which is, I believe, an indeterminate, not indeterminate, and intermediate day onion, right? And in our area, we would have best results if we planted a short day onion, right? But I wanted to try the candy onions because they had such rave reviews, and no, they did not get very large. In fact, let me show you. I have them all different sizes, right? Get those. I have them different sizes. Some are baseball size, some are just a bit smaller than baseball as well. But it's actually okay because I'm okay with getting the smaller size onions. Now, the one thing I want to share with you all is my garden bed. This garden bed, you all, these beds right here, this one, that one is very weedy, and the rest of them look just like this. My onions were in these beds, you all the way down. My onions were in these beds right here, and the beds were full of weeds, okay? Full of weeds. So literally I was pulling out weeds as I was harvesting onions. So the onions were kind of competing with the weeds as well. And but and it's because I took the ground cover up, because I literally had my onions planted in ground cover where I cut out the holes so that I could plant my onions in, so that the entire bed just wouldn't be covered with weeds. And that worked out fine last year. And this year I decided that I'm going to take the ground cover up and let's just see what the onions do without the ground cover. And they still turned out to be similar in size. In fact, I think the onions from last year were a lot larger than these right here, right? So when I do the onions again, I am gonna put my ground cover back down and just plant in the holes. And I will not be planting onions, I don't believe, in the spring this year. I think I'm gonna go ahead and plant them in the fall and just get that out of the way. So that'll be one less thing I have to worry about planting in the spring. It's June and I planted these in March, I want to say late March or something like that. I planted them, so it's time to take them out of the ground. The tops were dying on some of them, so, and the green tops, literally the green tops that look good, like the brown parts here and the parts that don't look so good, I'm just going to take those off and put them in the compost somewhere. But these that do look pretty good, I'm just going to take the tops off here and just put those in the compost. But the rest of these, I'm going to take them and I'm going to dice them up, and I'm going to put these babies in my dehydrator, and I will have some dehydrated green onion tops, right? So that's all I'm going to do. Now, last year I cured all of my onion. This year I'm not curing any of them, and I will tell you why. Because all of them are about to get diced and put in the food dehydrator, or they're going to be going in my freeze dryer. So there's no need for me to cure these. I'm about to use these right now, okay? So I don't think it's going to affect anything if I don't cure them before I freeze dry them, because I don't cure them before I cook with them and eat them, right? I just eat them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and chop them up and get them in the dehydrator and in the freeze dryer, okay? Now, another thing I did was my carrots right here. And many of my carrots turned out super small. Gosh, it's hot out here, so the greens have already started to wilt. But look at how they look, and look at why they look like this, you all. I'm gonna tell you why they look like this. They're all intertwined. Is it because I didn't thin them? That could be one reason. But the biggest reason is that Tamu decided to jump in my raised bed where my carrots were, and he started just digging and throwing dirt back, and literally he destroyed the entire center section of this raised bed. Yeah, this one right here. All of it was dug out. So literally whatever carrots were there were so deep, the seeds, that they probably turned out like this, right? And then some of them were just piled on top of one another. And I smoothed the bed out as best I could, but Tamu did a lot of damage to my carrot bed. And I actually had netting over it. That's why the hoops are there. I had netting covering it to keep the cats out. But Tamu decided that he was going to find a way in. He was just going to bogart his way in and get in and try to make a nice place for him to just lay down and chill, right? And so he literally, I think I probably would have had twice as many carrots as I have in this bed, right in this basket right now, if he wouldn't have damaged them, and they probably would have turned out a lot better. But that's okay. I'm going to plant some more carrots, God willing, in the fall in my raised beds that you all saw me do. But you saw the video where we put together the Vigo garden beds that we received. So I'm going to use those to plant my carrots in, hopefully, because they are taller and thinner. Tamu won't try to jump in them, because for some reason he loves to jump in our raised garden beds, you all. So, but that's it. I just wanted to just kind of, and look at this. See, some of the onions turned out this small as well, right? Candy onion. Some of them turned out like so. They didn't grow at all, but that's okay. These will still be eaten. They will still be eaten, you all. So hopefully when I plant again, when I start again in the fall getting them in, I'm hoping by the time the spring rolls around that the root system will have developed nicely, and they would probably have a much better chance of maybe getting a little bit larger. We'll see. I'm always trying to see what's going to work best, because I always plant the onions in the spring. I never put them in the fall. But this time around, the plan is to put them in the fall and let them overwinter, and then see what our harvest looks like in the spring. Yeah. So y'all, I think that's gonna do it. I do have another bed I need to harvest. I need to harvest my turnips, and I need to harvest the rutabagas out of that bed. Now my goat got in and did a lot of damage to my leaf tops, and yeah, him. See him over there? Him. Where you at? Somewhere right there. Him. He keeps breaking out. He keeps breaking out. I literally watched him run and jump over his gate, right? So now that he's learning how to escape, we're gonna have to figure something out for Zeke so that he doesn't eat up my entire garden, because as you know, he'll do it. So y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Also, if you want to see a video of me putting away my onions and my carrots, some of the carrots I'm gonna clean them up and whatnot, and I'm gonna be juicing them. I told you all I was on this juice thing now, so I'm gonna be juicing some, and then the rest I'll probably be canning those, okay? And if you want to see those videos, just drop it in the comment section below and let me know that you want to see how I'm going to put away my onions, how I'm going to put away my carrots. I will be happy to do that video for you. Okay, you all? So that's going to do it. I'm so thankful for my harvest, my little harvest here. I'm always grateful for what I get. I'm always grateful for what I get, because I couldn't have got none at all, right? So I'm very happy about my onions, whether they are small or not. I'm very, very pleased with them. And I know these are going to be good because they were organically grown. And I'm happy about that, okay? So y'all, that's going to do it for the video. If you like the video, again, like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos that we upload to our channel. And thank you all again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. And remember, y'all grow them groceries. I'm going to see y'all in the next video.